Hi guys, just thought I'd do a video covering my thoughts of Diablo 4 so far, based on the things I've watched and read, in a quick Q&A fashion. If you haven't kept up to date with the latest Diablo 4 news, I'll link to the stuff that I've seen into this video's description so that you can check it out yourself. I also wanted to try out my new microphone to see how it runs. Let me know if you have any issues with the audio. I really didn't like the first attempt of trying to record this video, so this is it after giving it another go. So anyway, to kick things off with the first question, did you manage to get your hands on the Diablo 4 closed beta? No, I did not. And although there's an undeniable advantage for those players that got to experience the game firsthand already, some of the game's valuable information has been shared to the wider community, and I'm guessing the game content that was accessible to the players in the test builds was just the tip of the iceberg of what was shipped with the final game. As we continue to enjoy the game in years to come, balance changes will continue to come through and new metas and discoveries will be made. And based on the most recent stuff I've heard, the devs are planning for each new ladder season to have a whole suite of new things to explore, so the fact that some people got a head start is not a big deal in my opinion. What are your current thoughts of Diablo 4? After the endgame closed beta closed out and video content about this came out, I was feeling cautiously optimistic about the game. I was happy with what I was seeing, but hearing the idea of no trade echoed by the community got me a little worried. After seeing the latest announcements and hearing that trading is still a thing in Diablo 4, even if somewhat limited, I now have more optimism for the game. Diablo 4 is looking a lot less like the cartoony Diablo 3 graphics that uses those bright colours, and I'm hearing some good things about the story from Rhykker, and the open world concept and the itemization aspects are shaping up to be quite exciting. Overall, the game is looking really polished and showing promise, and I feel a lot of confidence with the dev team that is backing Diablo 4. Will you pre-order Diablo 4, and if so, which edition will you buy? I'll definitely get Diablo 4 and would be more than happy to pre-order it to get the open beta early access as well. If there's anything else in a list of bells and whistles that would entice me to get one of the higher pre-order editions, it's the up to 4 days early access to Diablo 4. Which I'm guessing would just give us 4 days extra access to dabble with the game sometime before the first ladder season even starts. But at an extra cost of $30 Australian, I really don't know. The listed mounts, seasonal battle passes and so on, they could potentially be obtainable in game anyway or offered later down track. Or if not, then they're just for aesthetics purposes and won't affect actual gameplay or quality of life. I mean, I don't know 100%, but this is something I'm willing to take my chances on not getting. So with that in mind, I could just pick up the standard edition and just roll with that. What class will you play in Diablo 4? I'll be playing the rogue and will focus on a bow wielding one. I mean obviously, right? Either that or do some sort of hybrid rogue build depending on how the effectiveness of the builds play out. Whether I then play other characters or pure melee based rogue will still be up in the air. Will you fully switch over to Diablo 4 once it comes out? Unless D2R totally fizzles out, I'll still be playing it and provide content for it for you guys. It's hard to know at this stage how I'll weigh my time between the two games, as this would be based on the overall reception of Diablo 4, and whether or not I personally enjoy playing the game. What are your main concerns or things that are on your mind for Diablo 4? For this, I have a few things that I'll touch on. One is whether a good overall gameplay experience will be kept. The Blizzard team over the last 20 years kinda shit the bed when it comes to Diablo 2's character and item balance, which the meta gravitated players towards Sorks, Hammerdans and Javazons. And with true co-op being non-existent in Diablo 2 and the endgame being quite grindy, limits the replayability of Diablo 2. It will be interesting to see how character classes in Diablo 4 synergize with each other in a true co-op setting so that builds that revolve around playing with each other can also shine. I hope Blizzard can stay on top of things for Diablo 4 and address any issues that come up, as well as continue to bring new things to the game that we can enjoy in years to come. The next is Diablo 4's ability to capture and retain its player base. It's no big secret that D2R's player base is small and shrinking, and it's not a trend that I'm seeing reversing to be honest. So my concern would be whether Diablo 4 will be able to capture a large enough audience from the outset, especially with competing titles out there. And also the potential of future titles to steal players from Diablo 4. Because D2R's audience is relatively small and is thus a niche game, it's harder to grow as a YouTube channel dedicated to D2R. So this is something I'll be keeping in mind for Diablo 4 as well. The third thing is the character play experience in fantasy. I enjoy playing Bolzons and using skills like multi-shot and freezing arrow quite a lot. It's really satisfying to see these skills mow down monsters in the ways that they do. And also the Bolzon is definitely not a sleeper build and does require you to pay attention, so it's quite engaging. I hope Diablo 4 can capture this experience and that fantasy of blasting away many monsters while being on your toes is still there and quite enjoyable. And finally, for support for offline play and modding. This is probably the thing that I'm most worried about for Diablo 4, as it doesn't appear to show any support for these things. I enjoyed doing the Player's 8 Chaos Sanctuary in under 4 minutes challenge that I set out for myself back half a year ago. If you haven't seen this yet, then do check that one out. So this challenge and a whole bag of other ideas I have in mind are only possible thanks to offline play and being able to use edited characters that aren't locked behind needing to grind for items to make them readily accessible. So I hope this is something that Blizzard will consider for Diablo 4 down the track, if they're not considering adding this into the game right now. So guys, that will do it for this video. If you like this quick Q&A, do give a thumbs up on the video. Let me know what you guys want to see with respect to Diablo 4 and D2R. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next one.